expression, what can we do? Well, we can simplify an expression. So these are the kind of command words to go with expression. We can simplify. And part of that is the key skill we're learning now about factorize. Okay. With equation, well, the key command term, as you all know, is solve. Okay, so let's try that for both of these questions and see where we get. So on the left-hand side, can we simplify it? Well, when we're trying to simplify, we're trying to gather like terms. So here's some x squareds, we've got 2 of them. Here's some x's, we've got 4. And here's just a constant. So there's nothing we can simplify by adding or subtracting. But what we can do, of course, and this is where we're going, is we can actually factorize it. So we can kind of rewrite the expression a slightly different way by factorizing. Now, something that not many people did for the last assignment with factorizing is taking out a single factor. Yeah, so the key part here, for people who've done this before, was putting this quadratic expression into 2 brackets. But before we do that, always have a look to see if there's a single factor. Now, just have a little look. Can you see that we have, indeed, a single factor? Because here's a 2, here's a 4, there you go, here's a 2, here's a 4, and here's a 2. So the single factor that goes into each of those 3 terms is 2. So take out single factor 2. Put a big bracket. 2 times by x squared is 2x squared. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times by 1 is 2. So just convince yourself that if I expand this, I will indeed get the starting expression. Okay? So that's the first stage. If you can take out a single factor, life becomes a bit easier. And now stage 2 is now to take out more factors. But how do you take out more factors? Well, you try and factorize now this little bit here, which is the quadratic. So I'm just going to push the 2 all the way down to here and forget all about it. And I'm now going to think about how do I factorize this x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now there's various ways of doing this. There's guess and check. I'll just check that. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 1 is 1. And that indeed is the correct factorization. So the final factorized expression is 2 into x plus 1 into x plus 1. Okay, so we started with 2x squared plus 4x plus 2, and we ended up with this expression here. You could actually take it even further, 2 bracket x squared, bring everything to one side, and make equal to 0. But now actually we draw upon the technique from the left-hand side to help solve the right-hand side. So first of all, is there a single factor? Well, I've got 1x squared, 3x, and 18. No, there's not a single factor. So we go straight into double brackets. So we go straight into factorization. And this is where I'm going to introduce you to splitting the middle term. Okay, this was the last lesson of last term on the Friday. Some of you were traveling to different parts of the world and didn't have a chance to do it. So let me just spend a little moment trying to do that and showing you how to split the middle term. Okay, so basically we could launch straight into guess and check. And the guess and check in this situation isn't too bad. In fact, I think the guess and check is going to be quite quick, because look, it's going to be an x times x to give x squared. To get the 18 here, or negative 18, it's going to be 9 times 2, or 6 times 3. So let's do a 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18, and one's going to be negative, one's going to be positive, and I think it's plus 6, and I think it's negative 3. So that looks like I've done it straight away. But let me show you splitting the middle term, because this is a technique that's going to work for harder questions. Okay, so here's 1x squared, here's plus 3x, and here's minus 18. And we take the 1 and the negative 18, and we do 1 times negative 18 equals negative 18. And then we look at the middle term, which is plus 3. Okay, and basically you want to choose 2 numbers that multiply to give negative 18, but add to give 3. So it's a bit of a trick here. Okay, so think of 2 numbers multiply to give negative 18 and add to give 3. Well, the 2 numbers multiplied to give negative 18 are 6 and 3, but they have to add together to give positive 3. So 6 and negative 3, that looks okay, doesn't it? Alright, now the reason why this technique is called splitting the middle term is because we now split this middle term. we rewrite this middle term by splitting it up. Okay, so how are we going to split it up? X squared plus 6x minus 3x and then minus 18. Okay, so can you see how we've split the middle term up? We've split it up using these two key numbers. How do we find these two key numbers? We took the, get some nice colours on here, we took the number times in the x squared and the number at the end, we multiplied them together to give negative 18. And then we took the middle term, the positive 3, and we wrote it down here. And two numbers are multiplied to give negative 18, but they add to give positive 3, and we split the middle term that way. Now you're thinking, well, how does that really help us? Well, it kind of helps us because we can now factorize two terms together. So here we go by factorizing the first set of terms. Have a look at the first two terms, x squared plus 6x. Take out a common factor, a single factor, x. And then we've got an x plus 6. And over on the right-hand side, we've got negative 3x and negative 18. So both divide by 3, but I suggest factoring out negative 3. It just makes life easier. So factor out a negative 3 from here. So if I just highlight this, this is x plus 3 times by x minus. Definitely get 0 coming out. Or if you substitute negative 6 into here and here, you'll definitely get 0 coming out. Okay, so that's how to solve quadratic equations, and